Do you find that you are tripping over everything? You cannot see the door in front of you. Then you must be suffering from the perception of peripersonal space. The somatosensory association cortex is located posterior to the sensory cortex in the superior parietal lobes. But if this happens to you, that means your somatosensory association cortex is not functioning. The somatosensory association cortex is mostly associated with touch. The periperipheral space is the area directly around you. And I did not have this in the previous clip when I ran into my bed and I ran into the door and I fell down the stairs because I wasn't able to see the area around me and react properly. Also, the recognition of objects is basically saying that if I were holding this pen and my eyes were closed, I could identify that this was a pen from the cylindrical shape. Also, I would know how heavy this would be when I were to lift up this cup. I wouldn't be lifting a 50-pound weight, but I know from my somatosensory sensation that I am only going to use a little bit of effort to lift this cup. So if those things are happening to you, you might be a person of concern. This is from Dartmouth.edu. You can have cortical damage, which means that you cannot have any feeling in the non-dominant side of your body, and this means that if you normally write with your left hand, then you would lose all feeling on the right side of your body, since that isn't really your dominating side. And this would be an issue when you are driving a car. You have to use your right leg to put your foot on the brake or press the gas pedal, and this would cause major issues for someone living with this, and they would have to learn how to adapt with this issue. So let me just quickly explain why that would occur to you. If you had the most common damage to your non-dominant hemisphere, which is just a lesion, this would make your hemispheres not communicate anymore, and this would make all the attention to your dominant side. So say your dominant side is your left hand, that means your right hemisphere would be more dominant. So if you had a lesion on the left hemisphere of your brain, that means your right side of your body would be completely neglected because all the attention is only going to the right side of your brain. All right, now we're gonna try something. We're gonna pretend that your somatosensory association cortex is damaged. And one of the things that happens when it is damaged is that sometimes you can feel an object, but you won't recognize what it is. So if I were to hold an Expo marker, I can feel this. But if I had damage, I wouldn't know that this is an Expo marker. I'd still be able to feel this like tube shape, but I wouldn't be able to recognize and identify what this is, since this function is more of like a complex thinking, of like complex memory and recognition. So I want you guys to try this with a partner, and you guys can just give each other one object, and you'll have to guess what it is. But in the case that it were to be damaged, you wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to say, oh, this is an eraser, or this is your favorite pencil, because you would just feel the object, but you have no recollection of what that was to you before you had damage.